Hello students, welcome to this new session of Blender in which we are going to understand how to create basic furniture models with some unit measurement setup. So at the very first, let's learn from where in the Blender software we can set up the units. We need to come to this properties editor, and in this we will look for the option called scene properties. We'll go into this, and here we have this option units. We will open it up, and the default unit setup which we have in the Blender software, that is metric. We will change it to imperial first, and the default unit for length is going to be feet. So we'll let it be as it is. Now, to create a basic furniture, we will start with a small table with this activity. And in this, what I'll do is I'll open the transform tab by pressing N key so that I can change the dimensions of this cube. Now you can see here it is showing some value that the 6.56 is the side on all three axes for this particular cube, and this single apostrophe is like indicating the unit is in feet. Okay, if I'll change this to imperial to metric back again, so you can see the unit for length is now meters, and you can see the value is changed, 6.56 converted to 2 meters, and m is indicating that unit. So we'll come back to imperial again, and let's change this value. So for the small table part, I will keep the value 1 feet by 1 feet by 1. This is my cube, and I will be starting with the base part of the cube. But for the base of a table, this much height seems way too long. Now here, working with the imperial unit gives us a small advantage that I can put the value in inches as well. Let's see how. Here it is indicating the value, numerical value is in feet unit by a single apostrophe sign. If I'll put the value, let's say 1 feet with a double apostrophe sign which is on the keyboard. So if I'll enter double apostrophe and press enter, it will calculate the value into the feet and give the same dimension to the object. So this 0.0833 value is equivalent to 1 inches in feet, and hence this is the standard height of the object which I have just set up. So I'll close the transform tab again with the N key, and now I will move to a new different mode where I will get more tools to control and manipulate the shape of the object. That mode is called edit mode. So here you can see that by default we always are in object mode. If I open this menu, so next one is called edit mode. We also have a shortcut for this. So if I'll press tab key, I can toggle back and forth in between the edit and object mode. So see, if I'll press tab, object mode, edit mode. Now in the edit mode, you can see that that our toolbar has been expanded. There are so many different tools which we will learn eventually step by step. With that, in the edit mode, we have these 3 sub modes which is called vertex, edge and face. So I'll just quickly explain you about this. First is the vertex mode. So vertex basically are these pointers or the nodes which we can move to deform the shape of the model. Let's say if I'll select any vertex and if I'll move it with the move tool, see, I am individually deforming the shape of my cube or cuboid, and it is no longer a cuboid anymore. It is a very different and random shape. Second mode we have is called the edge. Now by the name you can understand that this will give you the control of an entire edge on the object. So this way you can also deform the object. Last one is face. So let's say if I'll select a face, so face is the like a formation of the edges around it, and I can move and I can change the shape of the object like this. Even you can scale this as well, and you can change the shape entirely. Now let's come to the activity where I have to create a table. So today we will be working with two tools. First is this loop cut. So I'll click on this, and what it does basically, it enters a cut on the object in a loop. So when I'll bring my cursor towards any of the edge, it indicates that from that particular edge you can insert a cut. Here it is showing you, if you bring the cursor in the center, then it will not indicate, because it needs the information like of an edge from where it can insert the cut. So you need to bring the cursor towards the edge, and see, you can even insert a cut on this edge as well, along this edge. So I'll click here, and it will be it can insert the loop here. So this way you can create some cuts like this. If at any point you want to increase or decrease the number of cuts, you can open up this small menu and you can increase and decrease the number of cuts like this. Let's just understand a far convenient way to use this tool. So I'll undo all these steps and I will start use the loop cut again. Now, which I have told you in the class and which I prefer is working with the shortcuts. So here I will use the shortcut for this tool, that is Control R. But make sure when you are using that shortcut, the tool must not be selected like this. Otherwise, the Control R will not work properly. So you need to select any of the tool to deselect that, and then if I'll press Control R. So now again it is indicating that I can insert the loop along these edges. So I'll let's say I want to finalize to insert the cut over here, and before inserting the cut, what I will do is I will use the scroll wheel, and what it does is it can instantly increase the multiple number of cuts. So at the bottom left side you can also see that it is indicating number of cuts which I am increasing and decreasing with the scroll wheel. Once you are fine with the number of cut, you can just click, and it can also give you an option to move or to position the edges. Let's say if you want to put it somewhere on the right side or the left side, you can click and you can fix the position. Or else if you want all the loops in the center by default, so press just escape key and all the loops will come in the center. Again, this menu appears here as well using the shortcut. So even let's say if you are not happy with the number of cuts which you have inserted, you can again increase or decrease. Now let's repeat the same process on this side as well, and with the equal number of cuts. Press escape to insert them in the center. And now I will use a second tool to make the legs of the table. So first I need to go to the face mode, because I need faces which I will use to make the extension as a leg. So what I'll do is I'll orbit to the base part and I'll select these faces with shift key, and here I have the extrude tool, and click and bring it outside, and here you have made the legs. But again, this is not my preferred choice. I'll use the shortcut here as well. So the shortcut for extrude region tool is E. So I'll press E key now, and I will bring the legs outwards like this. And here you also have the this small window for extrude tool options. So here in the Z axis where we have made the extension of the faces, I can give a precise value, let's say around 1 feet, and I have made a table with precise dimensions of 1 by 1 feet on the base surface and 1 feet in the length. Okay, now to finish this table, I will just give one more detail, and then I will be finishing up with the table part. What I'll do is I'll use loop cut and extrude tool to give some support structure for the legs. So I'll simply use Control R shortcut for loop cut, and on the leg part I will add some number of cuts, and same equal number of cuts on all 4 legs. Then I will select the face mode. This is very important because extrude region tool work better only with the face mode. It can give some result in edge and vertex as well, but that will be not good. So I would suggest that before you are using the extrude region, make sure that you are on face mode. Now on the face mode, somewhere at the bottom of the leg, I will select a face and I'll press E key to extrude that, and make the support structure for table like this. And this is how I will complete the model of a small table. Exit the edit mode and you can check out the final result. And if you want to apply materials to it, so select it, you need to go to the materials properties, and here you will disable the use nodes, click on the base color and apply any color to the table you want. Now moving ahead to the next model in this project, I need to create a chair. So for that I will not proceed with the cube. Let's understand a new technique. What I will do is I'll go to this add mesh menu and choose plane, and in the plane I will open transform tab by pressing N key, and I will set the dimension 1 feet by 1, or rather you can change the dimension. See students, this is important that you don't have to use the same value which I am choosing to create the a proper model. Okay, values might varies, as you can see that around us we see different kind of furniture with different shapes and sizes. So don't stick with those values. Just for the sake of learning, I am just showing you with some standard values. So don't get this thing in the mind stuck that we have to take the same value as I have taken. So for this particular plane, I will keep the value 1 feet by 1 feet, and I'll close the transform tab. Now I'll come to the edit mode by pressing tab shortcut, and then first I will select the face mode and select this face, and now I'll press E to extrude it upwards, and inside this I will keep around this much of height. Now next process is quite similar to the table. So first I will press Ctrl R, increase some number of cuts, similar number of cuts on other side, and we'll go to the bottom, select the face mode first, and select 4 faces with shift key and press E to extrude those faces. And here in the Z value I'll give the precise 1 feet value. So this is the base of the chair, and these are the legs with the 1 feet height. Now let's understand how can we create the back support of the chair. For that, what I'll do is I will select these faces and I will make an extrude with pressing E key, and I'll give the value 0.1 over here. Now here, starting from here, the next process which I am going to do is it will be strictly related to the design process. So I am going to define a design on this chair. So for that, I will be doing some changes, and I will be using some values by which I will be finalizing the design which I have chosen for my chair. Again, it might be vary, so depending on the design which you are choosing for your chair, you guys might work with different values or different sort of design. Next to this, what I will do is I will deselect, some of the faces in between. So I'll select these two, then shift this one, then leave one in the center, then leave one in the center, and then last two again. Again press E key, and this time I will give the value 0.25. Again press E key, this time I am giving the value 0.1, 0.25 and 0.1. I will do this 3 times. This is fine. E 0.1, E 0.25, and last 0.1. All right. So this kind of structure I have, or design I have, given to my chair. Now its top part seems to be open and it's quite hollow. So let's see how can I use this technique to finalize my design. What I'll do is I will select these faces on the side of each extrude portion, and I'll press E key and I'll extrude these faces to close this gap in between. So this is the kind of design which I have thought for my chair, and this is how I want to keep my chair. Now next part in this chair, what I want to do is I want to go to the side portion like this, and I want to give some sort of slant angle to this support. It is like 90 degrees straight, which might not be very much supportive for the back. Okay, so if I'll give some slant angle, then the chair might be much comfortable. Now what I can do to achieve that angle is, if I can go to this vertex mode, and from the side angle, if I'll select all the vertices and if I'll move it. Okay, let's see how can it do that. First of all, let's go to the precise side angle. So for that you can use this gizmo. If I'll click on any of these XYZ gizmo, see, it will take you to the certain angle like this. If I'll click on Z, it will take me to the top, and if I'll click on this other color pointers, so it will take me to the precise front or side angles. If I'll click from the center, then it will bring me back to that 3D space. Now another way to go to the precise angle is you can go to this view menu, and from here you can go to the viewpoint, and from here you can choose the precise angle. From here you want to make the adjustment to your object. All right, so for the time being I will go to this side angle. Okay, don't worry about this if it is showing you back, because we have created the object from that particular angle, that is why it is varying. And before that, what I will do is, let's move this chair so that a proper visibility for our chair might be there. All right, now I'll come back to edit mode, and if I'll try to move the vertices, so it is moving, but there is something wrong. Now what is wrong here, that the only visible vertices were being selected and hence moved. So what I want is that I need the selection of all these vertices. For that we need to change the view of our objects. This is called the solid view. So what we need to do is we need to change it to this sort of view, which is called wireframe view. All right, so in the wireframe you can see the structure, how your object has been formed, and this is basically looks, and it also works as a transparent. So if I'll go to the side angle like this, and if I'll make the selection, you can see that all the vertices are being moved, and because all are selected. So we want to go into this wireframe view. How can we go into that? If I'll press Z key, it gives me 4 options to choose from: wireframe, rendered, solid and material. As of now we will work understand about these two only. So solid where is the default view where we see the object as a solid one, and if I'll press Z and I'll choose wireframe, it will bring me to that wireframe transparent sort of view. So for the timing we require this, so I'll select and I'll move to the side angle, and I'll carefully select and move these vertices like this. All right, so I want to give some this kind of slant angle to my chair, which makes it quite comfortable to sit on. So I'll press Z and I'll choose solid so that I can check the final design of my chair. Okay, so I am pretty much happy with this design. All right. So this way you can create a small table and chair for the furniture model. Okay, I hope this is a good learning for you guys, and I hope you guys can create the chair and table quite easily. Thank you so much.